Eamon, the Bradford Bulls have had a week off after that round one game against Wakefield. Did that come at a good time, or after that defeat would you have liked a game immediately afterwards?
Oh no, I think there's pros and cons to it both. We certainly maximised the week. It would have been nice to have had a game, but I think with our current situation, with where we're at with the squad, it was probably timely. So we made the best of it. We managed to energise the group and give them a little bit of time there off, but we also got some real quality work done as well, so our preparation's been good.
Guessing with Bradford being a little bit stretched at the moment on the injury side, that extra week off certainly beneficial for those players that close or thereabouts to returning.
Yeah, that's it. They just miss one less game, don't they? So we still got a number of key players out at the minute, but we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is really pleasing.
When we spoke to you after that Wakefield game, you mentioned Lee Gaskell and Dan Okoro were injured. What's the latest with those two?
Yeah, so Dan unfortunately has broken his jaw. The positive to that is he doesn't need surgery, so he'll be out for a period of time there. And Gaskey's torn his hamstring as well, so he'll be around 6 to 8 weeks.
On Lee Gaskell, obviously, he's one of those pivot players. How much of a blow is that to the side?
Yeah, it always hurts you when you lose a key member of the team. He's one of our leaders as well, so but that's the beauty in having a squad. Someone else gets an opportunity now. So when you ask me about the week off, that's probably one of the good reasons. We've got some lads to get some repetitions in new positions. So it's really unfortunate for Gaskey, but when we're getting back, it'll be a real boost for the group.
George Tafu obviously left the game in the opening minutes with a failed HIA and a sin bin. Is he okay now after that HIA?
Yeah, he's all good. He's going through his protocol at the minute. He's back in and around the team. So yeah, that's a positive one. It was a fair old clash. So and I think I'm right in saying it's the first one he's kind of had like that. So. They can rattle you a bit then, but no, the club's done great, and so has George in terms of looking after him and him looking after himself, and we'll get him back after his ban.
And just on the ban itself, 2 matches, have the club accepted that, or are they going to appeal it?
No, we won't appeal it, mate. No, the ban is what it is. We're expecting a ban with it. It's really unfortunate. It's an accidental clash of heads, but it's where the game's currently at the moment. So no, we totally accept it.
And just how frustrating is it for you that we are in this sort of player safety conscious rugby league world where what might have been allowed to roll and sin bin sufficient last year, you're now getting the sin bin or the red card, and then you're getting the additional games afterwards at the match review panel? Yeah,
you get it both ends, don't you? It is frustrating, but I totally understand as to why those rulings are in. We want to make the game safer, and that's the route that they're taking at the minute. So look, we're frustrated, of course we are. I think if you asked loads of head coaches, they'd probably feel the same, but we totally understand it.
We've got the benefit of speaking after the 21-man squad's been announced. A surprise name in there is Ariba Doro. What's the latest with Ariba?
Yeah, he's just been working extremely hard and really well and responded well to his protocol. So we're going to give him tonight's training session to kind of get through it to see if he's eligible to play. If not, then I'm positive with how he's progressing that he'll feature next week.
And if he does feature, that is a huge bonus, a huge plus. Everyone knows, that natural aggression out there on the field, that energy, that enthusiasm, what Ariba brings.
Yeah, we've missed him, without a doubt. We really have missed him. He complements what we've got in terms of our leadership, and with Dan Smith and Bruno, we really have missed him. So it'll be a welcomed addition if he's fit.
A player that's not in that 21-man squad is Corey Johnson. Obviously, he's on a season-long loan, Eamon. No secret that he suffered a nasty concussion in a recent game with Leeds versus Lee. What's the latest with Corey?
Yeah, I think Leeds are just doing the right thing and looking after him. So and it's the right thing to do. So we're hopeful that he'll be back through the door. Probably next week. Hopefully, we're in communication with him constantly just to see where Corey's at. But first and foremost, it's about making sure that he's fit and well and ready to go.
Obviously, John Davis is back after his suspension, so that's a plus point, a positive when you've been losing players of late.
Yeah, it's good. You lose 2 or 3 and get one back. So, but no, with obviously he's really important to us, JD. He's played his part big time for us, and one of them kind of leaders as well. So knows the game really well, and I think his time here is really settled. So he's you know, we're looking forward to getting him back out there.
When you look at that squad, obviously Dan Moss played against Wigan in the reserves. He's a half. Did he come into contention for this weekend?
Yeah, there was a number of players that did. I went and watched the reserves game, but it's about timing. We're still very early into the season. You know, Dan's played one game after having a long period out with quite a nasty injury as well. So, you know, I have a duty to make sure that when I'm selecting players, I feel that they're ready. You know, so Dan's been great. Looking forward to seeing him get a couple more games under his belt, and then we'll make a decision on what we're doing. But he's been fantastic. I know he's on trial, but we certainly don't see it like that. He's part of our group.
Just on Dan Moss, you say he's still on trial. Has that trial been extended, obviously, because of the injury?
Yeah, it has. So obviously, it was really unfortunate that he got that injury in, I think it was the Hull game in one of the friendlies. So we had to make sure that he was right, and it took some time to get him there. But we want to give him an opportunity. I want to see him play. I thought he was really impressive for his first game back. Not trained much against the quality of Wigan outfit as well. He had some nice touches, an element of rust about him, which is to be understandable. But no, I was really happy with him.
Zach Fulton's named in the 21 one-man squad. Obviously, it was all over social media last week, Eamon, that he's arrived in the country. How's he settling in and acclimatising at the club?
Yeah, I think he's cold, but he's really settled. He's a great bloke. You know, it took him a while to get over that jet lag, but I went and picked him up from the airport, and my plan was to take him straight to the hotel to have a sleep, and he was saying no chance, I want to get in there and meet the boys and see what training's about. So he spent the day with us, and then I took him back to his hotel. I think he slept for a good 18 hours. So, but no, he's good. He's ready to go, and yeah, we're excited to see him in a Bulls jersey. In
terms of his sort of playing for the club, but are you happy that he's had enough training sessions and he'll be good to go for Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just finished a pre-season with the Manly top 30 squad, so he's had a couple of weeks there where he stopped training with them, but he'd been ticking over. But he looks really good. He looks fit. He looks strong. So yeah, if he's ready to go.
Tyra Knott, visa clearance, that must be really positive, because I presume he's had visa clearance, he's in the squad.
Yeah, he has. That's good. That happened late in the day, so really happy for Tyrone. He's been fantastic. The way he's conducted himself around, really settled into the group. The group have really welcomed him in. That's one good thing about this club. They're really close, the boys, and everyone's welcomed him in. So I'm excited for him to get an opportunity soon. He's a great lad, and he's really added to our training in terms of standards and intensity as well.
Those eagle-eyed fans who've been at a recent reserve game might have noticed him scoring after, I believe, 4 minutes. A real exciting player, but I think the positive is him and that utility value.
Yeah, absolutely. He can cover a number of positions. I think we spoke about it last time when we mentioned him. He doesn't just cover those positions. He does it really well. He's got quality and he knows the game. He's really smart. He's intelligent. He's obviously been in some good environments. So when he does get his opportunity, I'm sure whatever position he does play, he'll do a great job for us.
Billy Jowett's not in the 21. What's the reasons behind that?
Yeah, just look, nothing to do with Billy. When you think about your 21, you've got to think of every scenario and who might drop out. And I've just gone with Mackenzie there. He was impressive in the couple of reserve games that I've seen him. Billy's been great for us. I wanted him to play in that reserve game because an element I felt bad for him. He's had some disruption in terms of what positions he's played for us. I wanted to see him get a full 80 minutes in his preferred position. So I thought he did some really good things, but I've just gone down that route this week. There's nothing in it.
What's the latest with Eben Sker and Ben Blackmore? Because those at the time I think were, there could be, a couple of weeks, certainly for Eben, but has he had any setbacks? What's the latest with Eben?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a setback. We knew that he had an appointment with the consultant, and they may go down the route of him staying in his brace for an extra couple of weeks. That's the risk you take when you've gone down the non-surgical route. They were really happy for us not to go down that route, so it's just about assessing it. He's in a good space. Unfortunately, he's got to stay in it for another couple of weeks, and then we'll get him back in training. So the key to that is making sure we get Eben back at his full capacity. He's really important to us, so we want him back at 100%.
And I'm guessing it's similar, like with Ben Blackmore and Jordan Baldwinson. They're, I believe, 4 or 5 weeks away. So if you're getting Sker, Baldwinson and Blackmore back around the same time, it's almost effectively like having 3 brand new players.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Blackie's responding really well at the minute. We're confident we might get him back a touch earlier, but we have to be smart with him and make sure that we don't bring him back too early and then lose him for another period as well. So we'll monitor him closely, but I'd imagine he may be back before the latter two.
And just when you're looking at obviously the squad and the lack of depth due to the injuries and suspensions and adversity you're facing, how reserved do you have to be as a head coach, Eamon, knowing that there is a bit of budget to work with, but you've got to be very sensible around that budget, knowing that you sign a player, but in a couple of weeks' time that those players are back from injury, and you've then got nowhere to play that player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the reason for some loans, short-term kind of fixes. Hopefully they stay with us longer. We always look at it with a view to that. We want whoever comes through the door to be staying with us. But it's just the nature of the beast at the moment, unfortunately. When we're looking at recruiting, we're not just looking for this year, we're looking for next and the year after. So, I would imagine the ball gets rolling with that in the next couple of weeks, probably a couple of months, to be honest with you. But we're, as I always say, we're looking, we're working hard. The board are really supportive, Jason, Nigel. So when the right player comes up, we're ready to go.
On the loan front, some good news with Connor Carr and Max Wood joining the club on a 2-week loan deal. What's your thoughts around bringing in Connor and Max in?
Yeah, really happy to bring them in. They're from full-time environments. Max is someone in particular that we've been looking at since pre-season as well. I think he really excelled and was impressive for Warrington, and ended up getting a couple of opportunities as well. So we've been in constant dialogue with them, just in terms of Max, and he's become available. So we want to have a look at him, and we're obviously lacking there in that position as well. And like I said to you before, with what Reeby brings, we need something to complement what we've already got, and Max will do that. In terms of Connor, he's got lightning pace. He's a big body, and we're missing a couple in Blackie and George as well. So 2 welcomed additions to the squad.
Bradford have an elite academy, Eamon. Is it fair to ask why you're not looking at some of the club's homegrown players? Some of those players that played against Wigan in that reserve game last week?
Yeah, absolutely. More than a fair question, and your answer to that is we are looking. I'm going to all the games, been to the last 2 academy games and the last 2 reserve games. I'm in constant dialogue with Morrow, Scully and Ryan Unkin, who are doing a fantastic job. The key for me as a coach, I've got a responsibility for this club and the individuals as well, and I've no doubt some of our academy players will make their debuts this year. I'm really happy with where they're at. But it's all about timing. I want it to be a really important part for them when they get the debut, something that's really special, and I want it to be done on merit, not necessity, because we've got people in the stands. I've got a duty to make sure that when I play our young lads, that it's at the right time for them and for us as a club. So, look, moving forward, that will happen. I'm confident in that. But at this minute in time, we've got some work to do with our young lads, and the work's being done. They're not that far off. I mentioned before Mackenzie's in the squad. They're not that far off, but like I said to you before, it's really important to me that when I give someone the debut, which is a huge honour as a head coach, I'm doing it for the right reasons when they're ready and when we're ready as well.
And I'm kind of guessing, Eamon, you've communicated that to those young players who might have perhaps seen this adversity, injury suspensions, as an opportunity to make that debut.
Yeah, we speak about it daily. They've got an opportunity to impress, not just in games but in training as well. So yeah, we're lucky. We do a lot of pause sessions with the reserves as well, and we've got a couple that come in most nights. So we keep a close eye on them, and they're not that far off.
Tom Holmes took to social media to announce his heartening and positive news that he's been given the all clear to return to play, resume normal life.
Yeah, fantastic. Really happy for him. What a roller coaster for Tom. He's really important to us. Well, such a great lad. So I'm really happy with him. It'd be really easy to throw a pair of boots at him now and say, "Come on, let's go." But we have to be smart, get some guidance in terms of what we do next with Tom in terms of his training, because he's not done a lot, as we would do if someone had been out with a shoulder injury or an ACL like we are doing with Baldy. So we want to make sure we get Tom back at the right time, and he'll take a lead on that.
When you look at obviously that good news, it's fantastic to hear that his health is stabilising. What does the future look like for Tom Holmes and the Bradford Bulls? Will that be strictly dictated by the medical professionals?
Oh, I would imagine so. That's above us. We're purely focusing on the fact that he's had some good news and he can start to progress now. We're totally open. We know there may be a little bit of a setback. I don't imagine we can get him straight out on the field and start running him wild. We have to really look after him, and I think the less we do early on, we'll get that back towards the back end, and then I know Tom will be knocking on my door saying he wants to play. He already sent me a picture of his new boots, so that's positive.
We've covered a lot already, Eamon, but it is the Championship. It's round 2, no bigger game, certainly for Halifax or Bradford fans than that big West Yorkshire derby under the floodlights at Odsal on Good Friday.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. So early on in the season as well, having a derby. I'm looking forward to experiencing it as well, and on a Friday night as well. You know, it'll have a different feel to it. So yeah, the group's ready. We're all excited, and we know the importance of the game. With
this being round 2 so early on in the season, such a big game, does that bring any added pressures to you and the team?
No, excitement more than anything. There's no pressure. We've got our pressures from within in terms of how we want to perform, and you know, we took some real positives out of that Wakefield game with the adversity that we went through, and you know, a lot of learnings as well. You know, I say this a lot to you. I'm really happy. I love how the group kind of how they hold themselves accountable and know what they need to do better. There were some things that we did in there that really hurt ourselves, and we could have done better. But some real positives in there that we want to hold on to as well. So that's where the pressure comes from. It comes from within. We don't listen to outside noise or anything like that. We've got our goals. We know what we're working towards, and we're fully focused on that.
It is Halifax. What can you expect from Liam Finn's side on Friday?
A tough game, yeah, real tough game. You know, it's a derby, so I imagine they'll want to come for us, especially after looking at some of the vision from Wakefield, our Wakefield game. So you know, we want to make sure we aim up in that area, and what they are is a really well-connected group. I think they've spent a lot of time together, you know, over the last couple of years. They're really well-connected, the spine in particular as well. So, yeah, it's a good game for us to go and respond. You've
obviously reviewed their performance against Catalans, that slow start, early tries conceded, but by and large, a spirited Halifax performance that they fought their way back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'd expect, you know, nothing less from them. They're always going to compete. They've got some tough characters in there and some smart players as well to complement that. So, yeah, I didn't look at that game in terms of the scoreboard. You know, I thought they were highly competitive for large periods of that game.
And when you look at Halifax and some of their recent games, how tough is it for you, Eamon, to get a sort of a genuine picture of where Halifax are at, knowing they've played Hammersmith, Hoyce, York, Acorn, and obviously a very, very tough your old club, Catalan Dragons?
Yeah, we probably looked at more the Dewsbury game and the Catalan one. I had an early look at the Oldham game, but it was some time ago that. But you know, I have a look at that more in depth than what I probably show to the players. We focus on ourselves a lot. You know, we're not really happy with where we're at, or well, we're not content with it. We're happy with where we are, but we know we want to be better in some areas. So we focus on that more than the opposition. We do have a little look at them, but it's more about us and what we're going to do and what we're trying to improve on.
And just finally, Eamon, what does a win do for Bradford on Friday against Halifax?
Oh, it's a derby, so it's fantastic. Look, we want to win, regardless of who we're playing, where we're playing, whatever opposition it is. We want to win. You know, we've come off the back of a tough loss, but got a lot out of it. So you know, we want to go and respond, and to do that at home in front of our fans and sponsors, it'll be special.